Okay, so for the shoulder preparation for our straight arm session, which we're going to start off with handstands, we're going to move into the essential shoulder stretches. So you adjust the rings at approximately shoulder height. You take a step forward. You drop down as deep as you can into the stretch. You want to feel the pectoral and the deltoid and the bicep and the forearm stretching. So lean forward, open up your chest, take a deep breath in, breathe out, sink into a deeper stretch. Deep breath in, hold, breathe out, sink into a deeper stretch. So you're going to do 10 long slow breaths. On the exhale, you sink into a deeper stretch. Okay, so once you've completed 10 repetitions of the pec deltoid stretch, you move into your lats. You then move to the side. You lift your arm up, and notice how I'm pushing my shoulder girdle up, so I'm aiming to get my bicep to touch my ear. So I reach up as high as I can, and then I'm taking my weight over to the side. I like to use the other ring just for a little bit of stabilization. So you see I'm moving my hip as far across the line of where the ring is. So here's the ring and my hips are moving in that direction. I'm continuously pushing my arm up and trying to keep my elbow straight. You don't want the elbow to bend. You want to lock the elbow, push it above your ear. I like to take the inside leg forward, and then from there I've got some nice anchor points to really lean into it and explore all of the tightness in the lat muscle, right? So again, avoid this happening. Lock the elbow, press the arm up, lean over to the side, keep the arm behind the ear if possible, reach up, drop over. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Long, slow breath into a deeper stretch. Deep breath in, breathe out. On the note of breathing, you must ensure that you nose breathe, because if you mouth breathe, you're invoking a state of panic into your body, and that's the last thing you want to be doing when you're breathing, so to relax. So nose breathing is the best way to breathe generally through the day, all the time, and also especially for stretching. So I'm going to show you on this side the stretch. I'm reaching up and over, and again, up, arm pressing up nice and high, reaching up to the side, stretching out. Deep breath in and breathe out. So you complete 10 long slow breaths on either side. Okay, so from there we're going to move into the overhead stretch. So you notice I'm only using one ring. I hold the ring at the bottom of the ring, reach my arm forward, push the bicep up over the ears, drive forward, and then from there I'm sinking my hips forward and I'm sinking my chest forward. Now, the biggest mistake people do with this one is they let their back arch out and go from there. So all that happens is we're hyperextending the back, and we can damage the lower back in the long run. So we want to scoop the pelvis up and under. So scoop the pelvis up and under, lock the butt, lock the abs, the hollow body position as you've learned. Drive the arms up over the ears, drop the head down, tuck the pelvis up and under. Deep breath in, again nose breathing, and breathe out, sink out. So it's very important to continuously press up over your head. So press your arms up into your ears, tuck your pelvis up and under, take a deep breath in, and breathe out, and stretching out. So the more you can get your arms up back behind your head, the better you're stretching, right? So this is a very good position to allow you that overhead flexibility you need for handstands, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do 10 repetitions, long, slow breaths for every stretch. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna do some wrist strengthening drills, which are pretty important. So we're gonna start off with, so in the gym you want to use a dowel rod. I've got a weighted pole here. So actually what I'll do is I'll use a dowel rod to make more sense to it. So if I hold the dial right back here, the weight of the leverage of that stick is going to load up the back of my arm. So you see what I'm doing here is I'm locking my elbows in, shoulders down and back, and I'm going to pull up. So this motion here is strengthening the back of the wrist here. And so down and up. Now the biggest tendency for people to do is to bend the elbow. You don't want to bend the elbow, you want to keep the elbow super locked. Pick the hand up and bring it back down. So depending on the weight of your dial rod or the length of dial rod that you've got, you can take the hand further up, and that will make the load easier. Take the hand further up this way, and that will increase the load. So I like to do 12 upwards to 20 repetitions. You want to find out where is that burning, and if you're starting to compensate and bend the elbow, then you know it's time to stop. So you're going to do that hand, then you're going to swap over, and you're going to do the other hand, the necessary repetitions. You then alternate to the hand that you began on. You lock your elbow, keep your bicep pressing up, and you push the rod forward like that. So now we're working this part of the arm, yeah? So we're going to do that 12 to 20 repetitions till you're feeling the burn, and if you start losing form, obviously stop. And then we do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to lock the elbow, make sure the bicep is facing up, so the crook of the elbow needs to be facing up at all times. From here, we're going to rotate the hand as far across as we can without losing form, and then bringing it in. Now when you bring it into this way, there'll be a tendency for your arm to want to turn in like that. Don't do that. Keep the bicep facing up, keep the crook of the elbow facing up, and rotate as far across as you can tolerate, and then bring it across. So again, where you hold the dial rod will make a significant increase to the load that's through there. So again, if I hold through here, there's an increased load. If I hold through here, there's a decreased load. So that one, again, you're going to do the necessary repetitions for that one. And you alternate each exercise to each arm. So if I've done rotations on this side, I change over and give that arm a rest, and then I rotate over to the other arm. So this is a really good wrist strengthening drill, which will serve you well. Okay, so with the handstands, I have a set of low wooden parallettes here. Now, ideally, that's what you should use. However, you can also use hexagonal dumbbells, right? So hexagonal dumbbells, exactly like that. You should have these in the gym. If you don't, I highly recommend you invest in a set of low wooden parallettes. You can get these off Google, just Google them up. There's a lot of distributors, especially Australian distributors, who do really cool versions of these. If you get stuck with where to get these, give me a shout. I'll help you out with that one. So I like the wooden ones because they're light and you can chuck them in your bag. Weighted dumbbells, whole different story. Okay, so for the handstand, what we're going to do is we're going to walk back into the wall, okay? So you want to have enough distance here that you can get your foot up, right? So you see, I drive up and I'm being, okay, I want to tuck my pelvis up and under. The next thing I'm going to do is pull my head back. But before I pull my head back, I'm going to see, can I get maybe back a little bit closer to the wall? Close enough and far enough that you can actually still bail out to the side comfortably and not fall on your back, right? So that's what we're going to do on that one. So once you've got your position that you feel comfortable with, you're going to push up. Your eyes are going to look down at the back of the parallettes, yeah? Okay, so 2 seconds. Okay, so here we go. I'm in my position. I'm going to lock my pelvis up and under. I'm going to push my biceps or my shoulders into my ears, yeah? And then from here, we're going to pick the leg up and feel that line of vertical pressing through the handstand. You can change your legs around and feel it on the other leg. So you can say push 5 to 10 seconds at one, come back, 5 to seconds at another point. So this drill will be fantastic for your handstand because it allows you to do it in a safe manner, so you don't feel too scared about falling over. You know, you can just come out to the side. And also it gives you the feeling of getting a vertical line through the handstand. So you're going to do 5 to 10 seconds per leg, and that's what we're going to work on with that one. Cheers. Okay, so the lateral horse stance squat. This is a great movement because it's going to open up the adductor muscles in your body and also open up your hips, and which improves your squat pattern. Okay, so this foot is facing forward. This foot that's on an elevated step can be turned out slightly. The higher the step up, the easier the exercise. The lower the step, the more challenging the exercise. The eventual progression with this one is to have both feet flat on the floor. But for now, we'll use an elevated step. So lock the leg, squeeze this thigh super tight, right? So you want to squeeze that thigh and turn that thigh muscle so the knee is facing upwards, yeah? We're gonna hold our posture up, we're gonna lift our chest up, hold our natural arch in our lower back, yeah? We're going to hinge over to the side, keep our chest up, lock this thigh at all times, and trying to get this butt as low down as possible. When you can comfortably get your butt into your heel, then you know, okay, it's time to start lowering the step, yeah? You want to pause that position, 1, 2, 3, and then drive up, yeah? So bringing it over, locking this leg, pause, 1, 2, 3. On this pause, you'll feel a massive stretch in your adductors. You also feel your quad working, and it's very important to try keep your back upright. Don't fall over, don't let your spine fall over like that. So you want to keep that lower back in an erect position. What I mean by an erect position is as you're hinging over, you keep that back as upright as you can. Okay, so what we want to do is a 3-second pause down at the bottom, and we want to aim to do 12 to 16 repetitions per leg. Cool. Okay, so for the front lever V lifts, we're going to have the rings at a sufficient height so that when you're upside down like this, you're not going to knock your head on the ground. So you see I'm looking down at the ground, I'm going to engage my shoulder blades. Then what you can do is you can put your feet out against the strap, and you can use the strap to help you, and you're going to bring your hips to shoulder level. Pause, 1, 2, 3, and then from there, slide yourself back up again. Squeeze the shoulders back, and repeating this one, working up to 10 reps. When you can achieve 10 reps comfortably, it's time to then start progressing the movement by bringing your legs off the straps. You see I've got my legs together, and then I come down into a pike position, pause, 1, 2, 3, and pick it up, shoulder blades together. So working upwards to 10 repetitions and then progressing from there. Cool. Okay, so what we're going to work on here is our abductor muscles, which basically brings the leg up to a lateral position. This is a good exercise to do with complementing the lengthening of the adductor muscle. You want to be able to abduct your leg really well. So this is a common weakness in most people. So if you go to a lot of physios, they go, your glutes are weak. Well, this is a great way to make those glutes nice and strong. So here's what we're gonna do. It's also known as the Jane Fonda exercise, so you'll see why that is in a second. So what I'm gonna do is bring the leg out to the side. See, I've got my knee in line with the other knee. We don't want the knee drifting back. We want to keep it in line. So from here, I'm going to lift my leg up, point, 1, 2, 3, back down, up, 1, 2, 3, back down. And it doesn't matter if you can only lift that height for now, that's fine. If you find that you're really struggling to do this exercise, you can make it easier by bending the knee. So that version, I call the dog pissing on the fire hydrant, okay? So up and down, yeah? So another view, up and down. So what you could possibly do is, if you find this is really challenging, is master this variation when you know you can get your knee above your hip. When you can master that variation, then you can start going to the straight leg variation. So what we want to do with this one is lift the leg up laterally for 3 seconds, bring it down, lift it back up again, 3 seconds, bring it down, and you want to be able to do 10 reps comfortably. The idea with this one is to lift the leg higher and higher and higher, and that's how you progress this movement. Awesome. Okay, so the next exercise, you just need a bar. You don't need a fancy store bar like this, just a bar that you can hang off, right? So holding onto the bar, we're going to do hanging leg raises. I'll show you the most advanced variation and then I'll dial it back to the easier variation, right? So the most advanced variation is to be able to press and lift the legs all the way up to the bar. Less advanced variation is to bring the legs a little bit higher up, yeah, lower. You want to be able to at least get your legs up to hip level. So this will be a phenomenal compression exercise through the abs and also really good strong pulling and hanging strength. If you're finding even the straight leg variation of bringing the legs up to your hip level is too difficult, you can dial that down and you can take that to the bent knee variation, yeah? Okay, so when you can master 10 reps of the variation that you find challenging, you sort of almost getting up to 10 reps, you know, okay, that's the variation I want to be at. When you master 10 reps of that variation, then you move it, dial it up and go up to eventually that you'll be able to do 10 hanging leg raises. That's the aim. Let's see you do it. Cheers. Okay, the wall horse stance can be performed with a heavyish dumbbell or a kettlebell. The kettlebell usually work a bit better. So we want to get about a foot's distance away from a wall, and then you hold your weight between your legs. Your feet are nice and wide apart. Your both feet are facing parallel, straight, yeah? You're going to twist the knees out. Then the reason why you're up against the wall here is to ensure that you don't fall forward when you squat down. So chest up, stick your duck bum out, make sure your lower back is nice and erect. Come down as deep as you can tolerate. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Come back up again. At all times, you must make sure that the knees are turning out. So you see I'm pulling my knees out, chest up, pause, 2, 3, and up, yeah? So what this will do is it will greatly enhance the natural external rotator of the foot, so it gives you your natural arch back in your foot. It's also a great way to be able to squat with an erect spine, okay? So with this one, we want to go for higher repetitions, and we're aiming to do a minimum of 12 reps and then going up to 20 reps. When you can achieve 20 reps, then it's time to go for a little bit of a heavier weight. Awesome. For our last circuit, we're going to work on strengthening the straight arm strength of the elbow and the shoulder girdle. So we're actually using weights here, can you believe it? So I've put my bench at an incline, and what we're doing is we're locking the elbows. So I'm going to press my back flat against the bench. I'm going to pull my head up off like I'm doing a little mini crunch. See, I'm pushing my shoulders up. Now I've got my biceps facing up, and I've got that's the angle of the dumbbell at all times. No time do you turn it in at this movement, right? So I'm pressing up, driving my shoulder blades apart, and then I'm lowering, but I'm making the arc as long as I can. So I'm pressing this dumbbell as far forward as I can. Get down to this point here, feel the load in the biceps, the shoulders, the chest, and then bring it up to the top again. Always pressing up. So come down, lock, 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 pause, come back up again. So this is going to greatly enhance that planching strength that one needs for the strong shoulders, elbows locked out, okay? So you'll find that this exercise is actually quite challenging. You don't need to start with a heavy weight. I would start with 2 kgs. Make sure you can do 10 repetitions. Once you can complete 10 repetitions, then you go up 3 kgs, so forth, so forth, so forth, right? Okay, so enjoy this one. Okay, so the last exercise is supersetted with the pile raise. So the pile raise is designed to get the scapular retraction nice and strong. So pretty much it's the opposite of the protraction strength that you've just done. All right, so what I'm gonna do over here is keep the bench at the same angle. Lie over the bench. You see how I've got my arm hanging over the bench there? Then I'm gonna bring the top leg up and over. Let me get hold of the dumbbell first. Okay, so once that top leg is up and over, the bottom leg is at the back like this. Okay, see how my shoulders are square to the front? I don't want to be rounded up. I want my shoulders directly square. It's a straight arm strength day, so we're keeping the elbow straight. We lock the elbow, square the shoulders up, and I see how I'm retracting my scapula back. So I pull my shoulder blade back so it goes flush in with my spine, and then I lock my elbow and laterally pull the arm out. I'm going to bring it down with control. I'm going to try to keep my scapula locked down and back as I control it down. 1, 2, 3. At the end range of motion, I release. Then I scapula retract again, pull up, boom. Slowly down. 1, 2, 3. And repeat that. So like the last exercise, I want you to start on a 2 kilogram weight, master 10 kilograms, and then you can go up with increments of 1 kilogram per progression. All right, Daniel, that's your straight arm strength. I hope you enjoy this one. Put a lot of thoughts in behind this one, and I'm really expecting to see you thrive on this program. Next coming up is your bent arm.